why would you give these people a platform? And we always, when we do have those shows, we always have somebody, whether it's flat earth or some other crazy type of pseudoscience, there's always somebody else on here that is an expert in the field that they are, going up against. For like Joe, who didn't believe in viruses, we had an immunologist on here. It's important to put those ideas, I think, out there and to expose what they're doing, because if you don't do that, it festers up, I think, and then you have a worse problem at the end. So, I mean, I think it's very important that you do what you do, and you're good at it. The articles are very well written, guys. By the way, the link to her article will be in the description at the end of this video. Make sure you go and check it out because it's very funny. But Jilly is one thing. So let's take a break from Jilly for just a second. And I asked you before we came on who you would consider to be the most harmful and just the worst of the worst in this industry. And so I'm going to let you now tell everybody who you would claim that person to be.
Well, I am a mother of an autistic little boy who is phenomenal and amazing. And I learned about this man a couple years ago named Jim Humble, who is a former Scientologist that thinks he's like a reincarnated alien, or I don't even know. He's a lunatic. And he started, I know, and I feel so bad using those words because then I feel like I'm like down, like I'm making fun of people that have mental health issues, but he's next level crazy. And he has a church, right? Because that's how these places end up hooking, right? Like they hook you in with some sort of faith, right? And it's, he decided like in the early 90s that drinking bleach would cure everything. He said that he went to South America and discovered the cure for malaria. And it's like a combination of some sort of, I don't even know what the two chemicals are that they mix, some sort of citric acid, and you have the formula in one of my articles. I can't even remember. I told you it's been a long week. But it's basically it's an industrial strength bleach that they use for chlorinating and cleaning water and stripping textiles. And he has people taking this internally to cure everything from AIDS to cancer to, well, first out, like he says you can cure AIDS, but he doesn't really get that it's like the virus is HIV, but whatever, that doesn't matter. To cancer, I mean, he has like a list of like 100 different things that it'll cure, right? And the big one is autism, right? And so he has parents that have autistic children giving their children bleach enemas and having them drink bleach to cure their autism. And there are groups of mothers. He has a follower who he mentored named Katie Rivera. She has fled the United States as well. It's amazing how they're all not here in the United States anymore. He fled the United States too, to avoid prosecution, as did Carrie. But Carrie has a whole following of parents that believe that autism is caused by parasites. And if you give your child bleach, they will poop out the parasites and they will no longer be autistic.
Okay. So much to take in from this guy. Number one, you're right. He looks like, if you didn't know what Emperor Palpatine looked like on Star Wars already, he looked like that would be him. He just looks like an evil. Yeah. Actually, he looks like Emperor Palpatine and the Doctor from Jurassic Park combined into one.
Yeah,
that safari hat that he always wears.
Yeah.
But tell us how this is legal. This is my question. How is this?
It's not. It's not legal. There's nothing legal about it. That's why he's in Mexico, and that's why Carrie is in Mexico too. The FDA came out against this in 2010 and issued a massive warning about it. and said that parents with autistic children should not be giving this to their children. I mean, there are groups on Facebook where parents are taking photos of their children's bowel movements, and there's actual stomach and like intestinal lining they think is parasites because the bleach is destroying their digestive tracts.
Are these parents being prosecuted for this?
There actually have been. There have been a couple parents that have been prosecuted for this. And there was a man in Washington that was prosecuted in 2015 by the federal government. He had set up like a shell organization where he said that he was selling water purification products. And what he was actually doing was like linking everything to Jim Humble's products and telling parents, you know, like, this is how you should use it. I mean, and I should say, like, people use this for a lot of things. Like, they think it cures the flu and they think it's going to help their cancer. I mean, it's it's like Jillian got her playbook from Jim. If I want to be completely honest, because Jim has been doing this since 1994. So he's an old hat in this scam world, and he runs his company like a pyramid scheme. And so he has people that can start their own church and then become like distributors, like licensed distributors of the MMS. And, you know, he's got different places throughout the US that do it, but they all sell it the same way. They say that they're a water purification company, but then they link everything to Jim. So and you know, Amazon sells it. It's disgusting.
Well, and that's what I was trying to get at a second ago with how can this be legal? If they have this set up in the United States and they're able to sell it through Amazon, how is that not being shut down like with a quickness?
Because the way that they do it is just shady as hell. They have it listed as water purification, right? And Amazon's a whore, right? So they don't care what you're selling. They don't care what the product is. They say it's for water purification. And so, but they're selling it, you know, with, you know, recommended that you buy Jim Humble's book. So, you know, I wrote an article like a couple weeks ago after I found these products on Amazon, and I reported them to the FDA, and I asked all my readers to report them to the FDA. And I've reported numerous companies that I've found linked to his church to the FDA. You know, that guy that was in Washington that was affiliated with his church ended up getting 5 years in prison. So it is illegal.
Good.
It's just the government, you know, as with everything that happens in the federal government, it takes a long time to prosecute this stuff. But again, Jim and his best friend Carrie are specifically out of the country to avoid it. They're cowards.
One more question about the legal thing about it. Why would it not be, if these parents are obviously posting images of the effects that it has on their kids, why aren't every single one of those parents being taken to task? Because to me, if you feed a child something like that does that to them, and they have absolutely no say so because they're young kids, that to me is one of the worst forms of child abuse there is. And is it just something
100%.
that? Yeah. So why aren't they, like, why isn't this a bigger, I guess, issue than it seems to be with the government trying to crack down on those type of things? As soon as you post a picture like that and somebody reports it, they should be at your door making sure that you don't feed that child another teaspoon of bleach ever again. Just my opinion.
The good news is the problem is that a lot of these parents are completely underground, right? So they're in secret groups that don't have, you know, they used to have more like a closed group where anyone could get access to them. And now they've gotten even more underground in the sense where, like, a lot of parents won't even admit they're doing it anymore. I am in a number of autism pages because obviously I'm a parent of a child that's autistic, and I have shared these articles, and there's been several parents that have like flat out admitted to using it. And it's like, I can't even tell you, like, and they have sock accounts. So you can't even figure out who they are because you're not talking to their real account, unless you're somebody that is an IT person that can, get into that kind of stuff. You don't know where they are. You don't know who they are. And they scream and they yell at you and they tell you that this is working for their children. And, you're telling them that they're child abusers and they're telling you to go to hell,
Right.
They say, well, they're saying, well, how do you know? How do you know it doesn't work? It's not bleach. And that's the thing, is that Jim has these people completely brainwashed to thinking that it's not bleach.
So, to me, if the government's able, it's the government. They know everything, number one, that happens online, and they can, in my opinion, or they should, form some kind of task force to where when these things are being sold through Amazon, they obviously know what it's used for. Like, I don't think there's any kind of ambiguity there that, this
Right.
could actually be a water purification thing. Obviously it's used for another purpose. Right. It makes no sense that they would not.
Unless you're in Michigan, do you really need water purification in the United States?
Right. But, and what pisses me off is that I thought about this the other day. In my state, we have, or we used to have these companies that would pop up all the time in like strip malls and all this other kind of thing. It was a gambling place, basically. The what do you call them? The arcade machine type things where
the slot machines.
I forget what the name of. Yeah, kind of, but they were like they were other type of gambling.
Video
games,
poker.
But, sweepstakes.
Oh,
is what they call them.
Yeah.
So that was huge here. I never played them, never had any interest in them, but it was a huge thing here. Well, they were losing money. The government was losing money because people were going to this to do it instead of doing the lotto, playing the state lotto. So they then decided they were going to make this illegal. And you would have underground ones that would pop up everywhere. And it would be like the day they popped up, the next day they were out because the government raided them. So if they can do it that quick to something that's just, it's a gambling thing, to me, they could do that even quicker with an online business like these people that are selling through Amazon. They should be able to go in and just shut that down very quickly.
Yeah, and it's still up. I don't think Amazon gives a crap, honestly. Like, Amazon doesn't care as long as they're making money.
So I looked at Jim Humble's page and some of the products that he sells. He actually has different levels of this miracle mineral solution. Do you know anything about what the different levels are?
No, I just know that he has all these different products, like for detoxing and, I don't even know, because you need to look, it's my kitten. Hi. Oh, hi.
Have, at least once a week we have cats or a dog that will make an appearance. So we're very pet friendly show here. Very pet friendly. That's a cute cat.
Okay.
Too.
He's a baby. So yeah, he's got so many different products. And like I said, I don't really know a ton about all of them. He calls them sacraments, right? And so he says that, everything that he is selling, you only provide a donation for. And that's like a way for them, another loophole that gets them around, like they're not selling a product, it's only a donation. It's just, they find every single loophole. I don't know the levels. I just know the amount of bleach that they tell these people to use is like way more than anyone should ever ingest. And like the people that use it will say, oh, no, it's just a tiny bit. No. It's like ridiculous the amount of times. Like, I think in one of the articles I was researching, it was like 10 to 15 times more than you should ever consume, period. Because there's like, because like bleach is in water, right? So like if you drink purified water, you will drink a tiny microscopic teeny bit of bleach, right? That cleans that water. So they basically say, well, this cleans water, so it's safe. No, they're telling you to use like 20 times more. That's even like allowable, because you know how like the government has like every single chemical you can have like X% before it's like considered safe. I don't know.
Sure.
They have it with everything, like with aluminum and, you know, all those different.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so they have those same things with bleach, and the bleach they use for water